Hello and welcome to another Florida gameplay. Now, as you know, my review wasn't pretty of Florida. Again, that was a meme build. This is a purely dedicated Florida build. I do have Halsey on this captain, and I'm top tier. So this demonstrates, Florida's ability to do sniping and just how strong the ship can be. When it is, of course, top tier or at least mid tier. Mid tier being against tier 8s, but this is what this ship does best. Now, I only wish there was a CV in this match because it would have been great to demonstrate the AA, but fortunately, our review does the AA review for us. And I do have Halsey on here, so I basically get the ability to switch my shells at 13 seconds now, which unlike in my review, it was 34 seconds. So that is a huge plus. Again, you need that gun feeder to really make this ship shine.
Good game, everyone.
This was like my third match of the day, so it was
Good luck, everyone.
I had some time to warm up, but he was gonna take my friend Thunder Invader was gonna take out his the tier 7. Don't ask me on the name, I can't understand him. But we're on the new map Shells also, so I've never played on this map, so this was the very first time I was on this map. And I'm backing him up because I know the Pan Americans aren't that strong without their gimmicky button, so I gotta support him. And I'm undetected, so I'm going about 27 knots. That's why I always like to run brisk, because I have that ability to get in and get back out real quickly. Most people really don't see the value of brisk, but I love this skill. I think it's a great skill. And I'm helping them kill the Mitsuki because I know that's like one of their only DDs, and that's really the only one that's probably the most competitive. Is that Mitsuki? The other ones I'm not really worried about. But as you can see, the tier 5 Pan American is basically turning into, and that's no bueno. No bueno for him. He hits me for a little bit. But you see right there, he commits on the turn. And that beautiful, that's what the sniping battleship does. Look at that dispersion. Boom. Gone. 27,000. Dev strike and first blood. That's the strength of the sniping battleship. When its dispersion lines up like that, it hits hard. That's what it's supposed to do. And that's what you wait for those perfect broadsides and you make your move.
Teammate, I need your support.
And right now, I'm just really repositioning because I know the Colorado can overmatch me everywhere. The Julio Cesare is a ship I am scared of. I know he can punish me and hurt me real badly. So I've got to keep him in mind. He may be low tier, but never underestimate a Julio Cesare. Never underestimate those guys. They are very overpowered ships. There is a reason those guys are removed. Now, I can just look at him and see that he does not have Sanzanetti. Either that or he isn't running the pendants, but he's not running it. He does have a military contributor flag, but there's no Sanzanetti that I can tell. And I'm going after the DDs because I need to help kill these DDs. And I get very unlucky with that salvo. And you see that our A side is, well, collapsing. The A side has basically collapsed. And I try to help pick up this DD. I try, because I realize we need to kill this DD. He goes dark, and I'm like, okay. And I honestly completely forgot I had a spotter plane. I honestly completely forgot that I had a spotter plane. And I'm like, well, let's maybe see if we can get another Dev Strike. That dispersion is very beautiful. And I think I just overlet it. But I still get a nice 14k salvo and basically take half that Shore's health away. He's got to play really conservative now. There's not much he can do. But it's interesting when you look at the Florida, and it has just as much health as a Giulio Cesare at tier 5. Like, this thing does not have any health at all. And I do try to pick up the Shores. I think the Colorado was shooting HE at me. And I underled that shot. I thought he was going to slow down. But had I just aimed a little bit differently, I could have killed it. I honestly thought that Gade would die to Torps. I honestly did think he'd die. Now the Bensuki goes down. And our tier 7 friend here gets a double strike. Oh, double strike. So good to him. Good for him.
Torpedoes to port.
Now I don't get any depth charge hits, unfortunately.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes astern.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Problem solved, sir.
Awaiting instructions.
The ship is on
And
fire.
the Giulio Cesare has basically resorted to shooting, HE at me. And I'm in a very vulnerable spot because I don't really know what happened to those shells, but because the Colorado's there, but he has to worry about the subs. At this point, I'm not going to chase these guys. I'm not going to chase these battleships running to the, the eye and the far line. There's no point. I'm going to go help the A side because they need help. I don't get any hits, but I do get another 3,800 off the Shores. Every bit of damage that Shores takes, he's basically unable to come back. He has to run. Remember, if he can just do a little bit of damage, Shores may have great range, but in randoms, if you get a little bit of damage, that player has to retreat. Fortunately, it was real easily that it was a Giulio Cesare versus a Giulio Cesare. So we got lucky on that. And I want to help get this Colorado done, because I know if the Colorado goes down, then the Giulio is basically able to do whatever he can. Now, my Congolese picks up the kill. I get 4 overpins. I don't know why, I don't know how, but he's gone. So the Giulio basically has a free reign on that whole side of the flank. He can basically do whatever he wants to now. Now, the fact that he's playing the 10 line, I don't really know why. I would have pushed in with where the Akatsuki is. But our Bonk's friend goes down to Torp, unlucky Torp, so it's unfortunate. But as you can see by this flank, it's very precarious. They have 5 ships on this side. I mean, they could just steamroll this side. And even though we have the ship numbers, they have the ability. And our King George is running away. The Omaha's like at no health. So there's not much that can be done. Again, I don't know why and I like telling them, don't chase the ships to the J line. Let them run. Because if they're running that far, let them run. There's no point to chase these guys. And then there's like 2 DDs on this side, so I am worried about the DDs. I know I'm not worried about the Gnevy, it's the Akatsuki with its torps, because it'll just take 2 torps to put me out of action. Like I said, Florida doesn't have a great torpedo belt. You've seen that I take some torps, and I take a pretty good amount of chunk of damage. And there's a Nagato and a Renown, both of which have 16-inch and 15-inch guns. So that hurts my armor. So I don't have armor, so I gotta run away. or just try to hold and just hope my team can pull it together. Like, I really wish I could use spotting on this Dallas, because he's literally right there, just shooting me. And I can't see him.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship. Enemy battleship.
I see the Dallas shoot, the Nagato shoots me. And the Renown, I don't really know what he was doing. But the Julio burns down the New Mexico. But then again, right there, 4 pins, 9,300 on the Renown. I think the Renown was so focused on the KGV, because the KGV was taking a lot of fire for me. But the Renown just kind of left me alone, which I don't really know why.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
And I was hoping that Dallas would go back and I could dev strike him, but I decided, you know, let's just hit this Renown. $2,500. I mean, every bit of damage helps. See, Nagato shows coming in. Nagato overmatches me everywhere, and he just barely misses. But you see, then Nagato, or Renown, is basically stuck there. He can't do anything.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
And I pick him up. We get brothers in arms.
Good game, everyone.
We've destroyed an
And at this
enemy
point, you know,
battleship.
there's nothing they can do. We've got about a 200-point lead. And they can't really take back C or D because the Julio is there. Udin's fighting the shores, and it's 2 tier 7s versus 1 tier 7. But there's still 2 DDs unaccounted for. But I'm hard detected. And not from shooting, because I know there's something here. But again, right there, 13,000 on Nagato. Every amount of damage I put on that Nagato basically makes him less of a threat to me. And you see, I'm hard detected right now. So I know the Gnevy is within my range. He's here. And there's only one place he could be.
Enemy destroyer sighted.
And you did see the Gnevy pop up. The Akatsuki picks up our Visby. So it's just this one Gnevy and the Nagato, really, which are the main threats now. We kill those two, and we basically win. Another 5,000. Nagato's going down. He's got permafires on him from the DD. Yeah, he's going down.
All forces, capture that area.
And I'm like saying, DD, take the cap, because we get that cap, they can't come back. Now I load HE because I know the DD's here. Now I don't really know why I kept... Like, I don't know why I turned this way. I should have just turned the whole ship the other way. That was where I screwed up. In hindsight, when I was playing this, I knew I screwed up after I did it. It's whatever. But the DD's gone. We basically, after this point, secure the DD. Now you think, okay, point blank range. But I get Confederate right there. Halsey goes off. And I do pick up the Gnevy.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on
But,
full
you know,
alert.
I'm dead.
We've sunk an enemy destroyer.
Whatever. 3 kills, Death Strike, First Blood, Brothers in Arms, General Strike, and Confederate. Not bad. So it's like, okay. But,
Victory
like,
is in sight.
they've got a sub and the Giulio Cesare left. So there's not much they can really do. And the Giulio Cesare is basically going downhill.